It's time to kick off another season here in the Slide Jawb Racing League as Season 10 is ready to go underway here tonight for the iRacing.Funny 250 at Daytona. We had the duels last week to set the field, 40 drivers ready to do battle here at this famous historic racetrack. I'm Dawson Allen here to lead the call tonight, but I've got two very special guests with me. As always, it's Josh Coppernoll in the booth with me here, but of course, we saw him last week, we heard from him last week, and he will be joining us again tonight. That is In the Pits News Season 1 champion, Cameron Caldwell. Cameron, Josh, welcome to Daytona. Welcome to the iRacing.Funny 250.
Dawson, I am excited for tonight. Another season of Slide Jawb. I'll tell you what, these guys, they became an instant series that I look forward to week in and week out after I started taking over the broadcast last season for Season 9. I'm super pumped that we're back, ready to get this on at Daytona. We got a lot of drivers here tonight, all going for that big money at the end of this thing.
Hey, you mentioned a lot of money, $200 to the winner of tonight's race, a very big cash prize for whoever can walk away with the win here tonight. There you see a couple of the cars running in a pack to kind of get ready for tonight's race, 100 laps here at Daytona. It's going to be a fun race for sure, and it's going to be one of attrition. It's going to be a very much, a battle to get to the end of the race. You're going to be battling, not only the other drivers on track, but you're going to be battling yourself. Making sure you don't make any mistakes here. Just want to make sure you can get through the race and have no issues pretty much. So as we see a pack battling here, there is the number 56. That's Oscar Enriquez. Of course, he is our JCTV Toyota Supra. You can see Archibald is there on the hood as well. And back there on that rear quarter panel, he's got our newest sponsor, Spoiler Diecast, of course, JCTV 10. 10% off your order. But always cool to see the JCTV cars on track, Josh.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So glad that a lot of drivers support JCTV, and I've not asked anybody to do so. A lot of the SBLD guys do. We see, as you were just talking about, Oscar. I've not asked them to do that. They do it to support JCTV, and it makes me happy. And it's none of this is possible without all the people behind it. And we also just hit 300 subscribers recently, so a big thank you to every single person involved in making that happen. Cam, Dawson, you two are definitely among those that I have to thank, and I can't thank enough either.
Well, Cam, obviously looking forward to tonight's race. You have a super speedway win on your career, of course, coming earlier this season at Talladega for the In the Pits News Truck Series. What is it like, racing these pack races and how tight and close quarters it gets? What do you kind of watch for in these kind of races?
Yeah, it gets pretty wild, Dawson. Obviously, it's oftentimes side by side, even 3 wide, or even maybe 4 wide. I doubt we'll see 4 wide here tonight, but you never know. But anyway, you really have to hold your line, and it can be tough if you're not on the bottom. Because if you're on the bottom, you kind of have the double yellow line to base your line off of. If you're in the middle or upper groove, it's pretty hard to base it off of something on the track. So it will get pretty wild and crazy at some point. We saw in the duels last week that the first one was pretty wild. They were running side by side the whole time. The second duel, they decided to be a little more calm and kind of get single file and ride around for a bit. But I think we'll see a little bit of both tonight. It's 100 laps, so there's a lot of time to ride around if needed, or some might get a little too aggressive early and cause a caution. But it's gonna be wild and crazy at some point.
Yeah, indeed. And we saw coming to pit road, ninth fastest in practice right now is Dalton Kilroe. Your defending series champion here in the Slide Jawb Racing League. Of course, those came in the next-gen cars. We have gone back now. We are in the Xfinity Series cars for tonight. So We're definitely looking forward to that. Like looking through some of the stats for these drivers here. Of course, the 10th season, a landmark season for the Slide Jawb Racing League. Always cool to have these celebrations. This league has been running since 2018. And the first race for the Slide Jawb Racing League at Daytona was won by Darren Roy. He was the first driver to ever win at Daytona in the Slide Jawb Racing League. And of course, we've got a couple former Daytona champions here tonight. Dylan Parker won the opener in Season 3. Noah Mayuri's here. He won the closing race for the Truck Series in Season 2. Caden Atkins has won a race before. Dane Cruz, of course, the Super Speedway winner. He's won the previous 2 points-paying races at Talladega and Atlanta, but he's yet to win at Daytona. And so we're looking forward to seeing that. And of course, you mentioned Dylan Parker. He is one of the 2 dual winners, along with Christian Pacheco. Of course, the duels last week, as we mentioned, set the field for tonight. So while we've got a couple minutes here, let's see if we can get a hold of one of our dual winners there, Dylan Parker. Hey, Dylan Parker, these are the boys up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, right now you sit as the first fastest car on the racetrack. You already have a win to your credit here in the season, winning the duel last week. What are you thinking heading into this race? What is your feelings getting ready for tonight's race?
Well, let me tell you. All right, I'm going to tell y'all because I'm so excited. I've not been this excited for a Slide Jawb event in years, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm so ready for this race. I'm hyped, got to put that 3, in victory lane again. And, I think I can do it. If I just get some good luck on my side, 100 laps later, I might be a few $100s richer. I'm going to be confident tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to watch that 3-car. We've seen it, time and time again. Your ability to work through the field in these plate races, these super speedway races. You won the Season 3 opener at Daytona. And you've won at Talladega as well. And you've been able to get to victory lane a lot of times at these super speedways. What do you think, what makes you so good here? What makes this your bread and butter?
Well, first, I want to say that's dope that you actually, know those stats because no one else has put the effort in to do that. So thank you. That's actually really cool. Second, honestly, it's either I finish first or top 3 or I wreck. So those other races you'll probably see DNF, but the ones I win is usually just the thing I do is you win it or you lose it because I like to be patient, but then I get impatient and I like to go through the field and it's just I kind of get a feel for how it goes. So if I don't get caught up in one of those wrecks whenever that I do that eventually in this race, just expect me and Dane, because me and him are probably going to work together all night to be up front.
Alrighty, well, we'll look forward to you two. Of course, you're both starting up front tonight. Dane is, of course, on the front row. You're starting, I believe, third. You were the first dual winner, so you'll be right there with each other to start it.
All right, thank you.
And that is Dylan Parker, member of PPM, and ready to have ready for a good race tonight. He is very much excited, obviously. He's had success at this racetrack. He's had success at these styles of racetracks. We mentioned him being one of the drivers that has won a race on a super speedway before. A couple of those other guys that we mentioned, Dylan Parker was one. Ben Lacey, of course, got his first career win back at Talladega all the way back in Season 5. So he is another driver that has been able to succeed in this type of racing. Zach Amon scored a Talladega win as well. You see Dylan Parker and Dane Cruz wrecking back in the background there. But, that's the thing. I mean, in your opinion, Cameron, as a driver, do you think that Daytona, success at Talladega or Atlanta maybe transitions into Daytona as well? Or do you think those are 2 completely different tracks, despite being the same style of racing?
I think both Daytona and Talladega are generally the same. Atlanta is kind of its own different beast since it's a mile shorter. And obviously Talladega, as we like to mention a lot, the finish line is not in the trial, but it's about 100 yards down the straightaway. So I do think if you are successful at the others, you can be successful here, but really each plate track has their own kind of unique characteristics. Tonight with these cars, it's really hard to generate a run. So you're going to see guys making moves pretty early on, like, 10 to go, 5 to go. You can't really wait till the last lap. So, you're just going to make it happen quick.
And Josh, I guess we can ask for your input too as a driver. You do that driving thing a little bit. What is it? What do you feel when you run a super speedway race? What is your feelings as these races go on?
I like to be up front. I want to be up front and control this race as much as possible. I remember a guy who had a little bit of success at these kind of tracks. His name is actually Dale Earnhardt Jr. Not sure if you guys heard of him or not. He one time said that he wants to be up front 30 laps to go in these kind of races. He wants to lead the race and continue to lead from 30 laps to go all the way to the checkered. That's a while. If you can control it that long, that's a while. This lap's only 100 laps, or this race, rather, only 100 laps in distance. I think, as going on to what Cam said, if you want to win this race, it's not going to be on the last lap. You have to get up there sooner and try to be aggressive. Make your moves smart, but be aggressive at the same time.
Yeah, and funny you mentioned Dale Jr. We're going to show you another driver here. Noah Mayuri, he is a champion in the series here as we come into the 10th season. We celebrate some of the past champions of this series. Noah Mayuri, of course, a past champion in the Xfinity car. When they ran them back in Season 8, he went on to win the championship that season. He's also the Season 6 champion. So, he knows a thing or two about winning a championship, and he's looking to go for his third title this season. And he also has, like we mentioned, he has a win at Daytona back in Season 2 in the Truck Series League they ran. So he's been able to get it done here in a different car, mind you. But he is looking forward to tonight trying to kick off his run for a third championship here in the Slide Jawb Racing League as we celebrate, like I said, the history of this league and everybody who has ran before and participated. And, we talk about the guys of the past and the guys of the present and, as we head forward. So we've got about a minute left. Of course, the way this will work, we're getting ready to go into the race, but we will not have qualifying as the field was set by the duels last week. So we are going to take you through the field and how they're going to start tonight's race. Of course, they're going to have to organize and everything, but what we're going to do is we're going to show you your starting grid here for the Slide Jawb Racing League iRacing.Funny 250. So, of course, your pole sitters, your front row, it was Dane Cruz and Bridger Olson who wound up on the front row with Christian Pacheco and Dylan Parker winning the duels. They put themselves in as the second row. Then it was Oscar Enriquez and Caden Atkins. Christopher Bassinger and Mark Frimpong make up row 4. And then back in row number 5, it's going to be the 62 of Zach Probst and the 26 of Caleb Sheets. As we head back a little further, the next set of rows there, the next 10. Brian Dees, Noah Mayuri, Glenn Bundren Jr., Zach Amon, your defending series champion, Dalton Kilroe, starting back in the 15th spot next to Luke Knupp. Austin J. McGill, Ben Lacey, Gabe Cazzola, and Derek Paulson making up the top 20. Then we cut it back. There's Justin L. Johnson and Michael Thorpe Jr., who, of course, we talk about Daytona, a super speedway. Talk about close finishes. Michael Thorpe Jr. went on to have the closest finish in Slide Jawb Racing history last season at Homestead. Definitely was an exciting finish that we got to call live, Josh, as he just eked out on Noah Mayuri. We get to that back half of the field here, the final 10. You see Jonathan Canfield, JCTV's own, was able to make the grid. He is going to be starting well out back, but he's got a chance to make it. And then, of course, we've got our last row, Blaine Sparley and Robert Lukens making it in. Justin Duran, Blaze McKinney withdrawing from the race. So that leaves you 4 DNQs of Sam Barnes, Carrick Ball, Michael Walls, and William Turnbull. They were unable to qualify for tonight's race, so they will be staying home tonight. Well, as the field gets ready to go here, we're getting ready to go. Right now, it looks like we have 39 drivers in the session. Someone's missing, not too sure who it is. But 39 so far have shown up. And, you can't have a race without talking about picks to win. So first, we will start with Cam. Who is your pick to win tonight's race?
You know, it's really tough, but I'm gonna go with your route. Last week, I do believe. We saw him. I believe he's starting on pole. Yes, he is. I'm going with the pole sitter, Dane Cruz tonight.
Josh, who's your pick to win?
You know, I really like the React Racing team. I think those guys, all of them, are awesome drivers. I feel like it's a young team, but I think they're going to work well together. And I'm going to circle that 14, Christopher Bassinger. He is among one of those that are on that team. Expect that 14 to get to victory lane.
I'm picking a homer pick here. I'm picking somebody that we have seen have success here on JCTV, or at the very least has shown successful capabilities. I'm going with somebody here. It's a little bit out there, a little bit of a wild card pick, but I'm going to pick the 43 of Ethan Fonseca Moreno as my pick to win here tonight. He has done a hell of a job through all of his races he's driven for this league, for the series as a whole, as well as his starts in the Pit Truck Series. I think he's due for a good race, and I think that comes tonight. Watch that 43 wind up in victory lane. So as the field heads through 3 and 4 behind the pace car, of course the MFRD is Racing Designs. Of course, a lot of iRacing paint schemes made in this field tonight are actually, made by MF Racing Designs. Excuse me. 50% off paint schemes for all the drivers in this league, so that's why you see a lot of them too, and they make some pretty fantastic schemes. Dane Cruz, Bridget Olson, the front row. Green flag is out. We are racing for the iRacing.Funny 250 here at Daytona. So as they come out of 4 for the first time tonight, Dane Cruz is going to lead lap 1 here with Christian Pacheco to the inside, pushing him.
I am very impressed, Dawson, that the even start that all these drivers had. Still some drivers hanging on that outside line. Not a whole lot, but there's some out there trying to make it work.
Yeah, but a lot of them dropping that inside line here. You see how populated that one is, but you see one of those cars up top dropping back, I believe. That is actually the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, our defending series champion here. He drops back all the way now to 22nd and continuing to drop spots. I'm pretty sure, I would be willing to bet this is by design here. Wanting to go to the back early on and let this race kind of play out ahead of you. It's only lap 3 this time by, so you want to kind of let the race go ahead of you and go after it later on. You see pulling up right behind Kilroe is his MFRD teammate. That is the one of Ty Marasco, all the way back here in 34th right now. Looking to get there with his teammate. They're going to keep dropping further back here. Looks like on this outside lane, they may drop all the way back to 38th. That is where Blaine Sparling is currently scored. We have a car that is lost the pack. It's Robert Lukens in the 20. He was a late addition to this race due to the withdrawal of Justin Duran and Blaze McKinney. But right now, he is only coming off of turn 2. And I'd be willing to say right now he's in trouble because the field is coming through the corner as we speak. But they are all organized together as of right now. So we got a car that's already going to have a risk of going a lap down very early here in this race.
Luckily, it's pretty easy to get your lap back here at Daytona. You just gotta stay in the lead pack and not lose the draft again. We get a caution real quick and he's right back in it, especially if he's only one lap down.
A lot of
this outside lane that's right there with the the main pack rather. Parker is doing a great job pushing Olsen, and now there's some drivers jumping on up to that outside lane, trying to help him move.
Yeah, Olsen cleared the line. He led that last lap. Parker's all over his back bumper. Caden Atkins, of course, right there in the 2 car. These 3 drivers have been very successful on super speedway, so it's no shocker they're working together up top and making it work. So here they come rolling to the top, and then right behind them is the 53. That's Mark Frimpong in that 53 car, as he looks to make his way through the field as well. But they're still side by side for the race lead here, heading through 4.
That outside lane just getting a great run down the straightaways. I believe, yeah, Olsen led that lap as well. Very close at the line.
It's going to be a lot of back and forth between these two, I think. These are going to be the 2 heavyweights of this race, Olsen and Cruz. So I wouldn't be shocked, the way it's running right now, if these 2 just keep swapping the lead. But looks like Parker's giving a huge shove to Olsen. He's now clear of that inside line if he wants to take it, which he will. So Olsen will clear down to the bottom and take over the race lead. Dylan Parker now leading the outside lane with Atkins behind him.
That was an incredible shove by Dylan Parker to the back of Olsen. Get Olsen out there, but is that run on the outside going to be enough to help Parker now? He's side by side with Olsen and now has the nose ahead.
Go on board with the 2. Caden Atkins shoving that 3 car in this outside lane, doing everything he can to get him clear. You see the field back there starting to really get double file now. As they ride behind the leaders, the outside lane starts to roll. Now everybody wants to roll this outside lane as well. And now Dylan Parker challenging for the race lead on the backstretch.
Something we discussed last week during the duels, Josh. The outside lane is the lane you want to be in if you want to move up front. The inside lane is a safer lane because you have a lot more room if you need to avoid a wreck. But as we're seeing, it's just kind of a endless cycle of whoever's leading outside will eventually get clear of the bottom lane. And it seems like, at least with Olsen, he obviously took it, and I can see Parker taking it to be safe. And then we'll see if Atkins can do the same thing as well.
So up ahead, 20 car Robert Lukens is right ahead of the leaders. He's going to pull to the apron to get out of the way here, as the field will approach him now as he's down on the apron. He's going to make sure to get away from the grass, make sure he doesn't run into that. He's going to be really careful with his rejoin too as they come through turn 3 here. You see Olsen back out clear for the race lead right now as at the time being. And Cruz is right there with him, pushing him.
Just still so even between these this lead pack here. Olsen right now is clear. Cruz almost clear. Outside lane did not do a good job hanging on through the corner there. Now struggling down the back straightaway.
You see Cruz and Olsen lining up together. They thought about going high, then came back down to the bottom to hold off Pacheco and Enriquez, who are now down to the inside. Of course, Pacheco won the first duel. Enriquez finished second, so they're down the inside line together. And you see now Dane Cruz got to go to the outside lane. He's going to try to make it work with Dylan Parker, see if they can't get around Bridger Olsen.
And I'm honestly surprised about that move. It's awfully early to be kind of fighting for the lead like this, especially, I can't say for sure, but it is, got a lot of teammates up here. So, I know some of these guys aren't teammates, but still you feel like they might work together a little better than this right now. But, as long as they do it safely, then it's all good.
Look at the push from Parker onto Cruz. Parker jumps down to the bottom. Cruz stays high. This is going to put Parker in the lead now.
And it's funny that just happened because Parker just said in that pre-race interview that he and Cruz are going to be working together, and he basically just left Cruz out to dry.
Cruz to the outside of Parker, now trying to get some momentum generating back on that outside. See if Cruz and Atkins can work together to try to get themselves clear of Parker. That outside lane, it has really formed. There is a lot of drivers out there. I am surprised at the amount of drivers that wanted to go down to the bottom early and then popped right back out to that outside lane. Oh, there goes Cruz. He is clear of the bottom. He did not wait for Atkins at all.
Yeah, you were talking about that outside lane moving and some drivers jumping up. Two drivers I want to point out here. Sartaj Mann in the 49, and right behind him, Justin Johnson in the 33. Sartaj Mann started 23rd in this race. 22nd unofficially it shows, but starting 22nd, only up now to 5th running this outside lane as they continue to roll. Caden Atkins is clear for the race lead. But you see this outside lane has really helped some of these guys who started a little bit further back make their way to the front half of the field. Justin Johnson, of course, I believe he started in the 20th position. Actually 21st, but if they're showing that he started if they're showing Mann started 22nd, he started 20th. Vice versa, yada yada. But right now we got a battle for the lead. Mark Frimpong clears out front. You see now how everybody has gotten around this RSD team. They've moved to the inside, so now Frimpong and Mann are the top two leading the way here in the inside and outside lane.
Yeah, speaking of Mann, wow, they are really side drafting on each other. It's Frimpong and Mann. Not giving a whole lot of room for error, that's for sure. Mann is all the way down trying to get that side draft on Frimpong. Right now, inside lane has the advantage through the corner. Let's see what they can do. Down the straightaway. Mann having a push from Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson giving him a good push. And Sartaj Mann, of course, he found victory lane this season already, too. He was the winner of the Clash a couple weeks ago at iRacing Superspeedway. He was able to get the win there. So looking to keep some momentum on his side as he looks to go for a win here tonight. But right now, he finds himself battling to the outside of the 53.
Mann is almost clear of Frimpong, and he is. Mann wants to pull down. He can. He does.
That opens the door, though, for Justin Johnson and Justin Johnson on the outside lane there. Ooh, Dylan Parker dropping to the bottom. Might be trying to drop back here as he pulls out of the bottom, and we see somebody else right here on this outside lane along with Justin Johnson shoving him. That is the 51 is Zach Amon. He was one of the drivers we mentioned earlier who has a win at a super speedway. He was a winner at Talladega, but he has not won here at Daytona. Is looking to change that tonight. Another driver I noticed too, that's Hunter Rupp in the 61. He dives to the bottom here. I'm wanting to double check and see where he started because I believe he started well out back. Matter of fact, he did. Started 29th and has now worked his way into the top 5. So we're seeing now that outside lane. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that inside lane is no longer connected like they were earlier. There's a huge gap from Rupp to Atkins. That outside has such an advantage right now. I'm surprised Mann's still out there by a whole car length.
And we're starting to see it shift here. You know, a lot of these guys that were up front now, they started out back, and now we're starting to see this. The complexion of this race has changed. These guys have moved from way out back up here to the front. Like I said, Rupp started 29th, and he's up here battling for 3rd now with Justin Johnson. But, you know, they just continue to fight here as they get a little dicey. But it looks like right now the inside line has gotten worked up enough to where they can clear out front for a little bit and get a little sigh of relief for Sartaj Mann, who leads the way. We're only 16 laps into the season opener here at Daytona, but don't go anywhere. We're taking on a quick side-by-side break here for the iRacing.Funny 250. Sartaj Mann leads the way.
Hey man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh man.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. When the race
All right,
rocket science, don't know what to tell you. I may not know how to get to the moon, but when I wanna fly, my crew knows what to do. Crank around the wings in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how. Never know
Dad, where'd you get that?
Oh, you won't believe what just happened.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Hey, Hotshot. Meter's running.
Mahindra's the official tractor of Tough, right, Chase?
Yep, that's right, Tony.
This baby's got 4,000 pounds of front-end lift capacity, right?
It sure does.
So who's tougher, kid? Me or you?
You are, Tony. Can you put me down now?
What? You want to go higher? Okay.
I said down, you old goat.
I am the GOAT.
Mahindra, the official tractor of Tough and Stewart Haas Racing.
Come on, Tony, put me down.
Kyle Busch, welcome to Menards. What can I help you with today?
Well, I've got my shopping list right here. I need some green treated lumber. I need a brown Mastercraft door. I need red Clearview cabinets and some blue Dutch Boy paint.
Those are M&Ms.
And?
At Menards, we carry the world's best selection of home improvement products to help you complete your next project.
You've got more of these, right?
It's all gonna fit in your car?
I got a trunk.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti. I'm Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy, customers love the new paint color. It's your beard.
Oh, wow.
And living legend, Jimmy Johnson is on aisle 8.
Dawn, this is all great. Maybe a little much. I think we're playing it pretty cool here.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti.
You saw all the action in non-stop as we hit lap 20 here at the iRacing.Funny 250. Racing is tough for the race lead as it goes. Mark Frimpong has taken over. You saw all the action, all the chaos, all the craziness that we've been seeing so far. A lot of movement back and forth. And right now, Frimpong near the inside line. Sartaj Man, of course, it's like they swapped it. They just switched positions to put man behind Frimpong, and they've worked pretty well so far. Justin Johnson trying to challenge on the outside with Zachamon pushing, but it's just not quite worked as that inside line has stayed out front.
Johnson has been trying to get up there with help of Amon. They can't. They're struggling to get past Frimpong on the bottom.
Dude, Dan Cruz driving to the back. He's not liking what he's seeing up front. It is getting a little bit racy, so I don't hit the call there.
I don't think he was dropping the back. I think he got a bad push that sent him to the apron, and he had to recover it and get it back up on track. As you see, he only dropped to 13th. He didn't drop really any spots. He just kind of got down the apron and came right back up. But right now, Justin Johnson leading at the line here. They're starting to get that outside lane working a little better now.
They're starting to. There's only 5 cars. Make that 6, possibly with the help of Robert Lukens out there at the moment. Lukens not quite to the tail of Bassinger. But if that 33 Johnson can get clear, drop down, that's just going to hurt the outside lane with more cars just dropping off from that outside.
Someone else here in the outside lane that's made some moves here back and forth, but gotten his feet set to get to the front, I should say. Brian Dees, he was a member of the championship 4 last season, came up short of a championship to his teammate Dalton Kilroe, but looking to start off strong this season. He's currently running 3rd in the outside lane, but they're just not able to make it work as he currently sits 7th place right now. The inside lane is starting to work a little better and try to get further ahead of this outside lane.
And something to start thinking about in the next 10 or 15 laps is green flag pit stops, assuming we get there without a caution. Last week we saw in the duels they go about 18 to 20 laps on fuel, and that was half a tank. So you would think they go about, say, 35 to 40 laps on a tank now, since it is a full tank of fuel, I do believe. So, you know, sometime in that lap 35 to 40 range, coming up in, like I said, 10, 15 laps. So as we're seeing it, it is fairly calm. You know, it is a little racy, but it's not aggressive racy to where they're going to wreck each other. But we could see some green pit stops coming up, and you never know the experience level with pitting under green here with these guys. So could see a wreck, or they could all come down clean.
Well, it's not an issue of the experience level. I'd say more so it's the issue of communication, because you've got to get everybody around you aware that you are pitting, and you got to make sure you can also get people to pit with you, so that way you're not out by yourself trying to log laps after pitting. Because the big thing too, we see. And we saw Brian Dees drop back here on the outside lane, but something you want to be focused on is being in the draft. You know, because being in the draft, being able to draft off somebody can save you a little bit of fuel that you might need at the end of this race. And that's what we're going to see a lot of these guys do, is they're going to try to pit together, work together to get on a pit road. And it's going to be very important, you know, to see when we reach that time who goes when, and if they're able to get on cleanly. Because if you make the call out and the guy behind you didn't hear it, he could easily run to the back of you and take you out.
And something else to keep track of is if guys start to line up with their teammates. You could see short pitting here at some point. It is a pretty popular move. I know, myself included, with myself and Radius in the pits trucks, we like to short pit quite often at these kind of tracks. What we find is running in a pack like this, the pace is slower than what you could run in a pack of just 3 or 4 cars. So if you pit early enough to where you can all get down pit road cleanly and then come up pit road cleanly and lined up, you guys can take off from the field. So be interested to see if that happens. I do see a few guys, like the PPM guys, lined up more or less, so we could start to see that happen pretty soon.
I think I see 2 as well. Go ahead, Josh.
I do want to mention that this series is only 70% fuel capacity for all their regular season races, so it is not 100%. So
that means we're cutting it close, I would say. But something I noticed, you know, in the middle of all that, you know, we talked about Brian Dees at first being up here up front. He has been dropping back. I don't know if this has been on purpose or if something happened, but he went from running 3rd in the outside lane, you know, running in like 6th or 7th, and now he scored 25th, now 26th. As he gets passed by the 88 of Christian Pacheco, and now Blaine Sparling looks to make a move as well. So definitely a long fall for that number 17. And as we talk about it, you see up front, Justin Johnson has cleared for the race lead, so now he leads the inside line. Mark Frimpong is now in 2nd. Sartaj Mann back to is pulled down as well. He is 4th, so now leading the outside is that 5 of William Martin.
And my rough calculations say that they're going to start pitting in the next 3 to 5 laps. Granted, I do not know the fuel range, so it is a guess, but it is an estimated guess, or a educated guess, I should say. And we do see that outside line dying off, as you just mentioned. There are only 3 cars up there at the moment, so you just wonder if people are starting to try to get to the bottom so they can pit in the next couple laps.
Yeah, right on the outside lane is William Martin, Christopher Bassinger, and Caleb Sheets, who just got the wall. Everybody is sorted down to the inside lane and kind of filed in where they are. So wouldn't be shocking to see some pit stops coming here soon. That 53 is all over the back of Justin Johnson, shoving him down the back straightaway. So Frimpong and Johnson leading the charge here. And you see, there they go. Some of the drivers diving down. Here we go. It's time to pit, and I think we might have had some issues coming down. They're going to be 4 wide coming onto pit road. Everybody trying to slow it up enough.
It was amazingly somehow pretty clean. I did hear contact in the back.
Oh, yeah, back
We do have a
here.
wreck.
Car around. It looks like it's Ryan Rose, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Justin Burnham had issues coming to pit road. We're going to back this up a little bit further. This was coming onto pit road. You see, Moreno was trying to come down to the inside as Burnham was trying to pit. So that caused some contact between them. But now we go back to our race leaders right now. It's William Martin and Christopher Bassinger. They lead the field as they come through 3 and 4. Expect to see at least one diving in. There's Bassinger. Everybody diving down now. So that's going to leave Austin J. McGill to lead the field. Looks like everybody's going to sort it out there. And there's contact between Bassinger and Martin. Contact there. The 62 is Zach Probst. And Derek Paulson piling in as well. Chaos on pit road as everybody's trying to get to their stalls. And that's to be expected, you know, with the way they drive. Some of these guys just try to hook the inside of pit road. Other guys prefer to go to the outside of it, and that'll lead to those kind of incidents and run-ins. Right now, Austin J. McGill, Michael Thorpe Jr., the only 2 that have yet to pit. So as they come through 3 and 4, they approach 26 of Caleb Sheets. They're going to roll right up on him. I would expect them to come to pit road this time. Only 2 of them, though. You see, here they come. The final 2 that need to pit is McGill and Thorpe.
And it was a tough break for Zach Probst on that last cycle. I believe he got spun coming to pit road. His box was until towards the very end of pit road, so I'm not sure if he just started turning in early to maybe get into that kind of invincible spot, but or if he just got spun out from someone else. But we do have a spin in the grass. Got a few cars off in the grass here.
Caution fly.
Pit exit. That makes me wonder if these guys took no tires. And when you take no tires on a plate track, your tires are very hot. So getting off the pit exit gets really sideways. So you just wonder if some of them weren't ready for that and they all just kind of spun out.
Looking to see who it might have been. I see some cars with some damage. So it looks like the 18 of Gabe Pizzola with some damage. We're going to see if we can rewind it back here. Let's see what's going on. You see right there, Christian Pacheco was off. There you see, there's Luke Knupp and Ben Lacey were around in the grass. Brian Dees was having trouble. The 35, I believe that. Looking to see the 35 there is. I couldn't tell you right now who the 35 is. I believe that is Ryan Bogey.
That's Ryan Bogey.
Yeah, Ryan Bogey, winner of the Independence News Truck Series. Coming into this race here, looking to make an impact, but instead issues on the exit of green flag stop. So,
Dawson, real quick, if I may, one thing I noticed was Jackson Glenn Austin, he was just a little bit ahead of the pack. He actually got sideways, a little bit loose. The rear end of his car went up the track, and I believe the 7 of Ben Lacey was checking up, and he got hit from behind. So it was a reaction to what was going on with Jackson Glenn Austin, I believe, that led to that accident.
Let's see if we can go back and find it here. See a lot of incidents here. Let's see if we can go back one last time and look at it. So that was, there you see Lacey right here. See if we can go back just a little bit more here. Let's see if we can get a better look. Said it was 28 of Jackson Glenn Austin. There you see right there, slid almost up into the pack right there. And you see Lacey and Knupp had to react. You see Brian D spun as well. See the 68's down through the grass as well. So everybody was just trying to miss that. Everybody just trying to miss the chaos coming off of pit road to see if they could make it. But right now, looking up front, talk about the perfect timing for that call for Michael Thorpe Jr. and Austin J. McGill electing to pit at that time. They wind up back out front, leading the race.
Yeah, this caution, it actually came out at good time for some guys. And, you know, for Thorpe McGill, they'll be in control of this race. Just hitting, as you mentioned, changing things up a little bit. Different drivers up front. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. Some drivers electing to come down pit road, probably to top off on fuel. But everybody's going to have to pit regardless.
Yeah, I'm not sure what topping off here would do for you. Let's see. They pit around lap 29, I believe, so you have to assume they're still going to pit twice. I don't think you'll be able to save a stop there.
Now, I'm confused here now. Thorpe and McGill were scored as the race leaders here, and now they are waving around the pace car. I am not sure what this is about, because they shouldn't be a lap down. Was this a manual wave? Were they waved around by the admins?
I don't see any wave around for Thorpe. Quite a few guys got black flags cleared. I'm guessing there was some sort of mix-up entering pit road, like maybe someone hadn't caught up to the field or something, but I'm not sure what's going on here.
That's really big because, I mean, that's pretty much Thorpe and McGill are scored as the race leaders right now. And D's now scored third, is going to be behind the pace car. That's kind of weird here. So we'll look and see, but you see they're pulling up on the back half of the field right there. That's Dylan Parker in the 3, just up ahead. He scored 29th, last car in the lead lap. Blaine Sparling, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Caleb Sheets, Luke Knupp, Zach Probst, Justin Burnham, and Ryan Rose are 1 lap down. Ben Lacey is 2 laps down. Looks like Jonathan Canfield has scored 7 laps down. Not sure what happened to him. But that really, really sucks there. 7 laps down for this 16 machine. So it looks like the lights are off on the pace car. And this is really about to mess something up here because the leaders that are currently showing as the scored as the leaders right now are Thorpe and McGill. But everything's acting as if Dees is leading. They're a single file for the restart.
But it appears that Thorpe and McGill are at the end of the pack, like they're behind the pack, so
like they're wave around.
Like
That's
yeah,
what it's
but
like. Did the sim think that they were supposed to be waved around, even though they're not showing on mine that they got lapped? You know, for me, it's not showing they got lapped. Is it possible that scoring isn't updated? Probably. As of right now, it's acting as if Brian Dees is the race leader. At least the field is acting as if Brian Dees is the race leader. But right now, scoring is showing that Michael Thorpe and Austin J. McGill are the top 2. And I wonder if them all being single file right here is a sign of them essentially, when they come to pit road, they come off, and when they came off like that, they wound up being single file because of it?
yeah, I honestly have no explanation right now. I haven't really seen anything like this before, so
Well, this will be big. We'll see if the restart changes anything here for the scoring. The field will dive, the pace car will dive down. It's Brian Dees out front of the field. So the green flag will fly, but scoring is showing. Yeah, you see the field is slow here. They're still crawling around. I'm at a loss of words at what's going on right now. So right now we're looking. Michael Thorpe Jr. is scored. You see the field is stacking up. Caution is going to fly. I think they've figured out that something's wrong because they've stopped this race. They've thrown a caution here. Jonathan Parker will wind up the free pass because of this if they do this, but I've got no clue.
I think the whole field's going to pass the pace car here, other than Thorpe and McGill. Everyone just cycles around, basically.
Yeah, I think they're going to wave around the rest of the field here. But that is odd.
So the problem is that the top two, they started in the back, or they were going to start in the back there, but if they start past field, they're going to lap everyone. So there's a major scoring issue here.
Was it because of the fact that they were on pit road when the caution came out, and when they cycled off of pit road, they would have cycled off as the leader still? Because the leaders were already on pit road getting ready to pull off at the time of that caution. So that would have led credence to the fact that they pulled off pit road, and the field just wound up behind them because they pulled off pit road right there. And then the field, they got waved around the field because they were technically scored as being behind.
So I have an update. It was some kind of iRacing issue. Nobody is really quite sure what happened there, but iRacing did physically tell Thorpe and McGill to pass the pace car. They went green here so that they could immediately throw the caution and allow everybody to go around. Thorpe and McGill just drove down pit road. They're going to go really slow. Everybody's going to catch back up here, get double file, and resume the race.
Yeah, I get the feeling it had to have been something when they were on pit road, because they left pit road before the caution came out, I believe. I'll double check on this, but I almost am positive they were pulling off of pit road as soon as the caution flew. So let me get back here and double check that. So there's where the caution flag came out on lap 31. So they actually exited pit road after the caution had come out. So this is that pit stop we're talking about. The caution is already out right now on the track for the issue that happened. The pace car is rolling. We're going to try to get the camera on the pace car here. So seriously, the pace car is rolling now. Here's what you're going to see. Pace car is rolling, and what would have been the current leader, I believe, was Mark Frimpong. They were still rolling down the front stretch, and as they were doing that, just up ahead would have been Michael Thorpe Jr. and Austin McGill cycling off of pit road ahead of them. So it's possible that it bugged. It figured they were supposed to be behind the field as a wave. They figured they were supposed to technically be a wave around because they would have been scored behind the field if they got lapped, but obviously they didn't get lapped. They didn't get passed. They stayed as the 1-2. So I'm not too sure what fully caused it, but I think that's got a part of it, is the fact that they were off of pit road ahead of the field after the caution came out, so they were able to maintain first and second, and iRacing just couldn't figure out how that happened. That's my guess. Well, any way you want to look at it, the field is going to get sorted back out here at least, and it's going to give a couple guys some lucky breaks. Caleb Sheets is going to get a wave around, so that's going to put us with 34 drivers back on the lead lap. You see the back half of the field trying to sort out who's supposed to be where. So as they continue to do that, so Caleb Sheets right here, that 26, he's going to get the wave around. Currently scored 34th. So right now we have 3 drivers on track off the lead lap. That's Justin Burnham. He's a lap down. Ryan Rose is currently scored a lap down to the 58. Robert Lukens has scored 3 laps down to the 20. And then the 2 DNFs thus far in this race. Ben Lacey, 4 laps down in 38th. And that will continue, obviously, with him being a laps down and not being in the race. And then Jonathan Canfield is going to finish out tonight 39th.
I'm thinking that we're going to get the 1 to green. We did get the 1 to green signal here, so we are about to go back green, and it'll be 60 to go.
So we got an update as well. Ben Lacey, he said that wreck that he had there exiting pit road blew his motor. So that is why he is out of this race. So an unfortunate start to the season for that 7 machine here very early on in this race. We only hit lap 40. When we get to the green flag, it will be 60 laps to go. as we get ready here. So Thorpe and McGill, the front row. It's Dees and Bassinger in row 2. Frimpong and Rupp make up row 3. There's Sartaj Mann in row 4 with Bridger Olsen. And then Dane Cruz and Caden Atkins. That's your top 10. So as they head through 3 and 4 here, like I said, 60 laps to go at the line this time. Not yet at the halfway point of this race. But we've definitely seen some crazy action as this has gone on. A lot of guys going from the back to the front and vice versa, making moves through the field. And now we'll get to see what they can do on a restart with the field bunched back up. So the field in the hands of Michael Thorpe Jr. and Austin J. McGill as they head to the tri-oval. The green flag is back out. We are back underway here at Daytona.
Interesting restart there. McGill tucking into the line in front of Dees and behind Thorpe. Bassinger going to lead that outside lane. I wonder how aggressive they're going to be coming to the middle portion of this race.
Somebody slow up in the top lane further back. I don't know who that is. They are slowing up that outside lane big time.
And something to look out for here. We did have, you know, obviously some wrecks under that pit cycle, and obviously cause a caution. So you had to wonder if anyone's going to drop off the pack from too much damage. So there's potential that the pack
Caution is out. Caution is out a little bit further back. I believe it involved Blaine Sparling, Dylan Parker, and Ryan Bogey. Caleb Sheets is slow as well. Jonathan Parker slow coming through the corner as well. And there's Parker sliding there, so obviously involved him. This is coming on the backstretch. I believe it starts with Dylan Parker. Yeah, there it is. Parker hits Burnham. Bogey goes through the grass to miss it. Probst gets some heavy front-end damage. There you see Sparling, Sheets, and Parker, Jonathan Parker, I should say, spinning as well in the infield. So that will be your second caution for cause tonight. Third caution in total.
Tell you what, Dawson, one thing we usually see when we get to races like this is that big one. And, you know, we haven't seen it yet, but I'm wondering, you know, if we are going to see the big one, when it's going to happen. If it's going to happen like earlier in the race or right there at the end.
So the field all electing to come to pit road, top off on some fuel, see how far they can get to the end of this race, see if they can try to make it a one-stop affair. That will be the decision. As you see, Sartaj Mann first off pit road, Dane Cruz off second, Frimpong is off third, so some guys electing to do a little more service than others, but the 49 rockets off pit road, and he will now inherit the race lead. Of course, this league sponsored by MF Racing Designs. There is one of their schemes, one of their cars here tonight. Of course, the defending series champion, that is Dalton Kilroe, that 41 machine. You know, we saw one with a little bit of damage as well. That's the 17 there, Brian Dees. Through the rest of the team, Derek Paulson running right behind, a little bit further back as well, that number 6. And then, of course, Ty Marasco in the 1. I'll have that next-gen number placement to them, all the numbers pushed forward. But at least that the logo fits very much perfectly in that position, so. But, of course, MF Racing designs 4 distinct different paint schemes for these drivers, so if you're looking for any paint scheme work here for iRacing, hit up MF Racing Designs. Sartaj Man leads the field. It looks like Mark Frimpong is going to be second off of pit road, as it looks like Dane Cruz, Gaten Atkins, Bridger Olsen elect to pull down pit road and top off on fuel again. So Frimpong goes the outside lane here. He'll start second. Then it's Hunter Rupp, Oscar Enriquez in fourth in the JCTV machine. And looks like it'll be Zach Amon and Christopher Bassinger making up row number 3. Take a little ride on board the JCTV Toyota Supra driven by Oscar Enriquez at number 56. Finished second in his duel. Currently scored fourth in the race right now, I should say.
Yeah, he's having a pretty good run so far as Oscar Enriquez. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do here on this restart. Didn't really have anywhere to go in the beginning stages of this race and was just kind of trapped on that bottom line going backwards. So he's back up front, fourth on the outside, like you said, or I'm sorry, second on the outside, fourth restarting position. Kind of excited to see what he's going to do here.
Man, Frimpong, Rupp, Enriquez, Amon, Bassinger, Glenn Austin, Johnson, Thorpe, Martin. Top 10 as we get ready to go green here. It will be 56 laps to go when they hit the stripe. Field is in the hands of Sartaj Man as they head to the Geico restart zone. The green flag is back out. We're back underway for the iRacing.Funny 250 here at Daytona. A lot of these guys up here hungry for a win. Hungry to score their first career victory or their first victory in a while. Amon has struggled to find victory lane recently. And, of course, Christopher Bassinger, I believe, has yet to find victory lane. But I'll have to double-check on my research there. You see Enriquez is shoving Frimpong out to the front. Those two working together quite well. And now the 53 leads into turn 3 as Man tries to work the inside lane.
There's not a lot of help on that outside line right now. I'm wondering if Frimpong has a hole. If he's going to go down, he is clear right now, selecting stay in front of Enriquez. And Man trying to fill that gap. Not able to just yet.
He's going to work with it. He's going to stay up there up top with Enriquez, it looks like, for now. And I was correct, of course. Christopher Bassinger, he has a grand total of 38 starts in the league so far. Has yet to find victory lane. He is looking to do so tonight. Currently third in the outside lane, riding in 6th. Looking to correct that and put his first career win on the map. Zach Amon's got 3 wins on his career. The last win he has was all the way back in Season 8 where he had all 3 of his wins. So he's also looking to right the train here in Season 10. But right now, Sartaj Man out front, Hunter Rupp pushing him. On the outside lane, it's Mark Frimpong and Oscar Enriquez. They're trying to get something to work with William Martin back there, third in the outside lane, but way far back at that 56.
Bassinger, he jumped down to be in front of his teammate, Jackson Glenn Austin. So it's 14-28. They are hooked up, but look at the outside lane. They are now together. Man, he is getting a push from Frimpong.
And he jumped up to the outside lane. That's going to open the door for Hunter Rupp on the inside now to shoot up and go for the race lead. Mentioned it earlier. Started 29th tonight. All the way back to 33rd at one point, but now at the line, he's going to score the lap lead. So bump that up. At least for now, it's showing second, but he led that lap at the line. So Hunter Rupp has now led a lap. This man continues to fight to his outside. There's Zach Amon, and the caution is out. I believe it just happened right back in the background. I saw a car blinking, saw some issues, so a lot of smoke. And there it is, the 58 Ryan Rose around. Robert Lukens has got some more damage. A lap down was the 58, but going to lose his lucky dog with this caution. Just looks like he was slowing up for the 20 of Robert Lukens.
I believe it was Derek Paulson that got turned to ultimately lead to this caution.
Wow. Big hit for Paulson. And Moreno got involved. Nupp got involved. Lukens hits the wall right there. And then just further back, you see Ryan Rose is well involved. But that was a pretty hard hit for that 6 of Derek Paulson. Go on board with that 6 car. First name Derek, but he had a Dale moment there. That was a bad hit to the outside wall. So I believe
these
that
guys.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was gonna say these guys, they were able to keep it clean early on in the race, and since then, as they say, cautions breed cautions. This is the 4th caution that we have seen tonight.
Well, we did see this in the real life clash the other night. We got to about the halfway point, pretty clean, and then after that, they just kept on wrecking. I'm not saying we've gotten to that point yet, but we did see, in real life anyway, a lot of cautions caused by cars in the back of the field, and we have seen quite a few cautions now caused by cars in the back of the field, albeit only, I would say only 2 of them, but, you know, I don't want to say we're getting to that point, but it's starting to feel like we could get to that point if we don't settle down a bit.
Well, the good thing is, comparative to the clash the other night, is that our caution laps count. So we're not going to be here for hours on end to complete 10 laps. So we've got that going for us at least. But right now, go ahead, Cam.
Well, I was just gonna say, I was out of the clash firsthand, so it was not fun just sitting there as they ran 10 laps that counted in about 40 minutes. So yes, it is a good thing that caution laps do count tonight. So again, like you said, we won't be here all night.
Looks like Jonathan Canfield going to the outside, getting the free pass. If he completes this lap, he will pass Ben Lacey for 38th. So if more of these cars are to drop out, Canfield's still got plenty of time to get some of these positions, but he's going to have a long climb ahead of him. Let's look and see really quick if he is available for comment. Let's see if he is. See if Cam can get a hold of him. Doesn't look like he is, though. He's off hidden away elsewhere, so we'll leave that be. Of course, a lot of these guys that pit that first go around are going to pit a second time around to see if they can get some more fuel. At this point now, I do believe topping off on fuel, you will be able to make it on 1 stop. With all these cautions, it's allowed some fuel saving, and it's also allowing us to get into that window where you can go with 1 more stop, depending on when you make that last stop. It's all dependent, though, if we can get a green run here. Which right now it's not looking likely. But Michael Thorpe Jr. leading the field here. Hunter Rupp is 2nd. Mark Frimpong is 3rd. Zach Amon is 4th. Oscar Enriquez up to 5th. Christopher Passenger is 6th. Justin Johnson 7th. Cole Gudmstead is 8th. Jackson Glenn Austin 9th. And Austin Shea McGill 10th. And again, that's a name we haven't talked about a lot tonight. At 15 of Cole Gudmstead. He started well out back. He's been out back most of the race, but has slowly crept his way up to the front here. And right now he sits in the 8th position, or what is should be 9th actually, I should say. So he's got a good spot right now as this race goes on. You know, if he can keep surviving these big wrecks, he'll have a shot at the end of this one.
Yeah, this race far from over. We're going to restart. 49 laps to go, Dawson. I think the intensity is going to start to heat up. A lot of money on the line for that race winner. As mentioned, $200. We've heard drivers really want that money. And these guys, a lot of them are still young. That $200, that could go a long way in one of these young bucks' pockets.
Big bucks for the young bucks. But yeah, talking about Gudmestad, he had to rely on his qualifying time to get him into this race. He did not finish well in his duel. But right now, he's looking good right now up there in the top 10. It's Thorpe and Rupp, the front rows, the Geico restart zone. The green flag is back out. We are back underway here in the iRacing.Funny 250.
Rupp on that outside lane. I thought he was going to be clear behind Thorpe, elected to stay out there, and now Oscar Enriquez, he's gonna be in the second car on the inside line, trying to push Thorpe up there, but Rupp and that's Frimpong trying to get ahead of Thorpe on that outside line.
Slightly clear was Rupp, couldn't fully clear. Thorpe now to the inside with Enriquez pushing him.
Not a lot of room for error, man. Rupp, he is down side drafting hard on Thorpe.
It's a little bit further back. Zach Probst, no front end on that car, and he is struggling to stay here. Currently scored 15th, though, so he's working something out there with that front end missing.
And back up front, we have a huge push for the lead. Rupp appears to be clear. Frimpong is going to take the outside, but Rupp does have the bottom now. And that's what you got to do down the backstretch there. The backstretch is really where you're going to get the run off the top. If you just get hooked up and start going, that's where the run's going to come from.
It almost looked like Frimpong was clear as well. Had a shot to go for it.
Frimpong, he's to the outside of Rupp. Push from Amon. See what Amon can do to the back of Frimpong. Frimpong does not lead that lap. It is Rupp. Oh, that outside lane not organized.
Sliding around is Frimpong on the bumper of Amon. And now Rupp trying to get it to work still on the inside. Thorpe right there with him. Enriquez in behind. And then you see Bassinger's fourth in the inside lane. Gudmestad is there as well. Trying to roll up. You see, actually looks like Bassinger's going to shoot up to the top lane. He's going to be third in the outside lane. Justin Johnson dropping back due to some connection issues, blinking in and out a little bit. So he'll drop it back. That's a line. That time it was Mark Frimpong in the 53 that led, but it's still side by side. Not fully clear yet. The 53 isn't. As they continue to battle here, the top two still side by side.
Give the advantage to Rupp at the moment. That outside lane getting connected. Thorpe connected with Rupp.
Mon is all over the back bumper of this 53, shoving him for everything he's got. Thorpe is doing the same to Rupp. As they continue to the... Ooh, see a big shot to Frimpong. Almost sent him sideways there. But he's going to lead the lap. He's going to clear down to the inside line. So now he'll lead the inside lane. And that leaves Zach Amon to lead the outside lane.
Yeah, I noticed just before that, it seemed like the bottom stacked up just a little bit, which was going to be great news for that outside line. And then, yeah, Frimpong, he got super loose, and I didn't think he was going to be able to clear. Line drivers jumping up to that high line now.
We're seeing the pushes on top become more and more aggressive. I did see a few pushes at the beginning of the restart that were kind of getting the leading car loose, and obviously just saw it again there with Frimpong. And I just saw Zach Amon down the backstretch get a little loose and wiggly from the push from Bassinger. So it's not go time yet by any means, but they sure are racing like it.
He's getting some good shots from the Fontana passenger, who continues to push him in this outside lane, see if they can't clear and go for the race lead. But right now, it's Mark Frimpong leading that inside line, trying to maintain this lead.
Oh, look at that outside lane. Man, he is making it work 3 wide. And he's going to have help from the 33 of Johnson. Where did Man come from? He just gained a ton of positions, and he's still going.
That 49 with a huge run to the outside. He's got a shot at going for the lead. Indeed, he does. What a move by Sartaj Man.
The outside lane had a checkup off of 2 the last time by, and I'm going to guess that the bottom lane did as well, because you not get that big a run without some sort of help like that. That was incredible.
11 positions gained for Sartaj Man there. That is insane.
He took that run off the corner. He shot to the top, and he rolled.
It's only 4 cars on that outside line now. I say that. The 15, Gudmestead, he jumps up there. He's got the 12 right there with him. 6 drivers on that outside line trying to make that work.
Wareham is bouncing back and forth between the inside and the outside. Can't quite choose what lane he wants to go in. He goes to the bottom for a little bit, then he goes back up to the top. But that door is going to close here soon because Dylan Parker and Caden Atkins are closing in as well. So they're going to shut the door for Wareham and force him to choose if he wants to go bottom or top here very, very soon.
Justin Johnson, leader of the outside line still. He has Mon behind him, Bassinger behind Mon. And those top 2, Frimpong and Man, they've been working really well together so far. But Johnson is challenging side by side for second with Frimpong.
The inside lane got a little squirrely there down the back, but all sorted out. I'm just interested to see because we've seen the top lane kind of have the momentum all race, but it's struggling right now. I'm just wondering if Johnson isn't a great leader or if they're just not getting pushes behind.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pulling up on the back bumper there in the outside lane. They're not really as organized as they should be to make these runs. It seems like they're battling hard to see what they can do and see if they can't make it stick. But right now, 40 laps to go here in the iRacing.Funny 250. It is Sartaj Man and Mark Frimpong, the top 2 on the inside line, leading the way. We're going to take you on a quick side-by-side break. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss any of the action.
Don't be conventional.
Kevin Harvick?
Be exceptional. Upgrade to Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It helps your engine last over 250,000 miles.
Wow. What's he doing?
Raving.
He's exceptional.
So is Mobil 1. Yes.
Is this good?
I do not know.
Get 250,000 miles of protection. Upgrade to Mobil 1.
Fly the blimp, too much hot air. Race announcer, same thing there. Wouldn't get a word in with you know who. Just get down on the track and do what you do. Slide down in my seat, pull the belts tight. Get up on the wheel and let the dust fly. Never know how. Never know how.
Ooh. Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
You saved at the pump!
Woo!
Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advance Auto Parts. Learn more at advanceautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
Man, we're door to door. I have the better car, fresher tires. I drove it in deep, and you missed it. I know you wanted to watch it, but you got throttled by your data plan, and it slowed you down. You hit your data limit streaming all that techno music, didn't you? I mean, really? Man, you've got some questionable taste in music.
Switch to Sprint, the only network with truly unlimited data.
Everyone knows that old NASCAR legend about how drivers, go during a race. So naturally, we were curious.
Kevin, no bathroom break?
Nope, all set.
Hey, Kevin.
What's going on? Excuse me. I mean, those fire suits are made of high-tech fabric.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Looking at the rain.
You guys go on, I'll catch up.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3 topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin. I like your PJs.
PJs?
Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
Joey, I don't know how you pulled that off, man. What's next?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, come. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, Coca-Cola.
We are just about 35 laps away from determining who will win tonight's running of the Slide Jawb Racing League iRacing.Funny 250. Hunter Rupp leading the field right now. He has been able to work that outside lane, got it up to the front, and cleared now as he continues on. And we're coming up on pit stops not too long from now. Drivers are starting to look and see. I mean, it's going to be about 16, 17 laps since they pit. So pit stops will be coming here in about maybe 10 or so laps to make their what could be final stop of the race.
Just as we were coming back from commercial break, man who was leading the inside lane got super loose off the exit of 4, and it completely broke apart any momentum the bottom had to allow Rupp to get to the lead, with others also clearing man, and man, he's already back up to second.
.33 blinking out again. That's really going to hinder the outside lane. But I noticed some drivers start kind of sort back down to the bottom lane more than anything. They're really, the outside lane's died back down to just 4 drivers. It's Johnson, Amon, McGill, and it looks like Wareham on the outside lane. And there you see another one jumping up. I believe that was Hunter Rupp. Indeed, he does. That opens the door. Here comes Sartaj Mann back to the inside. Going to try to make a run to the lead again.
And that move to the top by Rupp was kind of questionable, in my opinion. As you mentioned, coming out of break, pit stops are coming up. And I'm just wondering if the top line's starting to die down a bit, so you can get down to the bottom and pit in the next few laps. But moving to the top there, you're not going to be able to get down very easily. So I'm not sure why he moved up there, especially since leading the bottom right now is the place to be.
It's a scary approach. You see a lot of guys diving to the bottom there in the background. In the corner, I saw a lot of these drivers up here kind of just shoot back to the bottom. And like I mentioned earlier, look at Zach Probst. 17th place right now. That car should not be up here in this pack, but it is somehow continuing on in 17th. And the thing is about this race, I mean, even with a damaged car like that, you've still got a shot to win no matter what. So the fact that he is still racing right now is just amazing. I see some other drivers that are up here that have been involved in accidents earlier on. Jonathan Parker is 15th right now. Dylan Parker, on the other hand, is doing whatever he's doing as they continue to catch some slower cars. That is the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. That car, same as Probst, but it looks like a lot more damage because he is not able to keep pace like the 62 has been able to. So when we cross the stripe, it'll be 31 laps to go. The window not yet open to make your final pit stop, so but you might want to be getting ready for it just to make sure you are down on the apron and ready to go and find out who your friends are going to be making that final stop.
That outside lane, it has really died down. Only 3 cars out there. It's Rupp, Johnson, and Amon. And they're not really connected trying to push hard right now. I'm wondering if they're trying to look for a hole.
They could be looking for a hole, or they could just be riding out, trying to save a little bit and riding around. But I see someone who doesn't seem like they're saving. It seems more like they're pushing forward. I've been looking way back at the top of your screen up here. Gabe Cazzola in this 18 has been running the outside lane pretty much by himself out back, but he has been trying to pick up spots left and right, and he has been doing so up into the top 15 now. Is this 18 to Gabe Cazzola, and it almost reminds me of what we saw in real life a couple years ago with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. When the line would kind of be a single file line, and Stenhouse would jump out of line and just try to side draft to get by the next car ahead of him. And you know, that kind of super speedway racing that we saw in real life, that's what it kind of feels like is happening here. Just he's able to get a lot more of a run without having to do all that side drafting. So he is rolling his way up almost into the top 10 now as he battles with Austin J. McGill. .29 laps to go with the line. Man continues to lead Rupp, now challenging again on the outside.
And really, I don't think we're going to know how this race is going to go until we get through the last pit cycle, especially if it's on the green. We saw that first pit cycle. Obviously, there's a lot of commotion going on. I would almost expect it to be the same. While the pack is a little bit more spread out, but I think a lot of guys are going to come down at the same time, and it's just going to be running out of space once again. So, you know, this race could very easily get turned upside down very quickly once this pit cycle starts.
Outside lane had gotten a couple of cars to join it, but really it's just been these 3 that you see here, 61, 33, and the 51. And right now, Rupp, he is challenging side by side with Man. And Rupp, he had a head of steam heading into the corner there, just not able to clear Man there. Just in the background, that is a 74. That is lap car Justin Burnham. He is a few down, that is. So not running for positions right now, just trying to see if he can catch a break.
Yeah, Burnham 3 laps down right now in 31st. Kind of just biding his time at this point. But I want to mention, you know, I talked about him a few seconds ago. Gabe Cazzola, he is 9th place right now. An absolutely phenomenal drive through the field we've seen out of this 18 here. As he looks to set his best foot forward once again. Right now sits behind Jackson Glenn Austin on the inside lane. But this 18 is really setting himself up to be here in the later stages of this race to try to go for the win.
Doing an impressive job so far.
Next time by, the window should be open to make it to the end. We might see some try to go now, but it'll be very dependent on who, where, and when. But at the line this time, that'll be 26 laps to go. So we are in the window because these drivers have now run about 25, 26 laps. We're at a window now where we can make it on fuel if we pit now.
And I think going back to a point that Cam brought up earlier in this race is kind of short pitting a little bit. I would think that, you know, now would be a good time. If you can get your teammates to all get together and they'll all be on the right strategy, I think right about now, is plan is, wow, there we go. Some drivers pitting.
Good group of cars coming out pit road. We'll also see the RSD drivers all pitting together. You see Burnham gets spun again coming to pit road, hit by Probst in the background. So there is some issues there. Sartaj Mann, meanwhile, leading the field this time. 25 laps will be 24 this next time by, and I believe these guys should be pitting here this lap.
And going back to the point you just made, Josh, before this first pit cycle, I was looking through the field, and I did not really see any teammates lined up. The most I saw was about 2 lined up, and you really got to be close together if you're going to short pit, but obviously bigger packs have come down, so I think it was a little too late to start short pitting.
So 16 cars stayed out. Blaine Sparling has currently scored the last car that is out there on track. Looks like he actually pulled to pit road, so we have 15 that have yet to pit. Hunter Karsten, of course, 13 car, he has scored 15th place. He's just a little bit further back of all of this mess. You see them filing by the drivers that came down pit road that last time by. There's Zach Probst just up ahead, that number 62 car. And Oscar Enriquez as well with him.
This guy's still staying out here.
They're going to push as long as they can. They were formed up. They're wanting to see how long they can go before they have to pit. Maybe even trying to bank on a caution coming out here with all the chaos of everybody filing off the pit road. Oh, there you might get it there. Blaine Sparling issues coming off pit road. He got it back corrected, but I was getting ready to say if he starts spinning it around, that's going to be the caution they were waiting for.
Kind of hoping the field has learned the lesson from swinging off the pit road exit, because that's kind of what caused that long caution of confusion. So hopefully we don't have that again.
Still staying out. As we mentioned, 28, 29 laps now these drivers have made. As they continue to make some more laps and they cross the stripe this time, it will be 21 laps to go. Michael Thorpe Jr. currently scored 16th. He was the leader off of pit road, and looking back to find him, he is not that far ahead of the leaders. As they are heading into 3 and 4, heading out of exiting 3 and 4, I should say. Our race leader Sartaj Mann is doing the same, and they're going to pull to pit road this time. Oh, the 88 sliding it. Somehow gathered it up and saved it. Christian Pacheco did, the winner of duel number 1, or duel number 1, sorry. They were able to lock it up and save it, but right now we've got 2 cars left that are doing the same thing we saw McGill and Thorpe do earlier. It's Brian Dees and Ty Marasco. They stayed out that time by. They're going to see if they can't catch a break here with all of those guys pitting.
That was a much cleaner entry for all of these drivers. Looking a little sketchy coming out of the pits, but they make it work.
Yeah, entry is one thing, exit's another beast. They've got to make it up to try to get up to speed and try not to spin it exiting pit road. Watching this 88, the tires got mad at him on the entry. We'll see what he does here. That's going to be close to a penalty there as he peeked the tires over the line, coming back on the track. But we'll see. So it looks like Brian Dees and Ty Marasco are on pit road. So Sartaj Mann might cycle through as the race leader. We're looking to see where this pack is. Here is Michael Thorpe Jr. currently 10th, catching up to this pack that just came off pit road. There'll be 19 laps to go.
I think this second pack, which is led by the 34 Michael Thorpe, they need to get single file quickly and get connected, working together. Oh, there's trouble! Jackson Klein Austin, is that Dane Cruz? They keep it straight somehow. Wow.
Oh, spinning on the apron. Brian Dees is around exiting pit road. Backwards on the track. And the caution flag will fly. Ty Marasco had issues as well, it looked like. But Brian Dees spinning on exit. And that is going to restack the field back up and change everything in this race.
Obviously, the caution came out for not what we thought it was going to there. Both Glenn Austin and Cruz got together there, and like Josh said, I'm shocked that that did not cause a wreck. They kept it straight, but they bounced off each other like they were going to start spinning.
First, we'll take a look at what actually brought out the yellow. The spin by Brian Dees on the apron wound up bringing out the caution, but let's look and see what you guys are talking about with Jackson, Glenn Austin, and Dane Cruz here. This is coming through the tri-oval just before that yellow. It looks like they're trying to get by the slower car, Gabe Cazzola. Austin trying to go up, and wow! Somehow they kept that straight. We'll jump from the 28 to the 3 and show you the onboard that Dylan Parker saw here on the front stretch. See up ahead catching Gabe Cazzola. Thorpe and McGill were able to get around him. Austin had a late move to get around him, and Cruz was there. Somehow they kept it straight. So as of right now, the field is going to be good to the end of the race on fuel. They will be able to make it all the way. If we get any overtimes, that's where the issues start to come in, if they can make it. But that's still about 18 laps away from right now.
Man, I saw Christian Pacheco come in to seemingly top off. I don't think he was involved in any wrecks there, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I do think this caution will help with green white checkered, but you know, you just don't know, especially for the guys that pitted earlier in the cycle. So it's hard to say. You know, obviously we up here in the booth don't have a solid number for the fuel mileage, but we have a good guess, and it's gonna be close for sure if we do get a couple green white checkers.
Yeah, we mentioned too, Pacheco came down pit road. Looks like he got tires as well, I would assume, after his spin coming onto pit road. But along with him, everybody else, a lot of other guys pitting as well. 12 drivers staying out. Sartaj Mann, Mark Frimpong, Justin Johnson, Zach Amon, Hunter Rupp, Michael Thorpe Jr., Austin J. McGill, Tymer Rasco, Christopher Bassinger, Jonathan Parker, Cole Gunmestead, and Zachary Wareham. They all elected to stay out this time. And the only two I'm looking at mostly are Wareham and Gunmestead. 8 laps they have been since their last stop. Looks like Thorpe, McGill, and Bassinger have been out there for 7 laps. So with there being about 18, make it 17 to go, I mean, they'll be close to the number if we get overtime. They will be close, but with the caution laps, it should help. But they will be close to their number if we do go into overtime territory.
I'll tell you what, this race, as we see here, I assume they're going to get the 1 to green this time. 17 to go, so we're going to restart 16 to go. This is really crunch time right now for these drivers. Mann has done an incredible job really controlling this race for most of it with Frimpong. Johnson as well up there. But, you know, these cars, as mentioned before, it is so hard to really generate a run, so hard to get around. This track is not wide enough to really make crazy moves. I'm telling you what, I think these guys, they're really gonna start to turn up the pressure, get into that fast lane. If they can, try to win this race.
So 16 laps to go here in the iRacing.Funny 250. $200 still up for grabs here. Everybody wants to get it. The opener to Season 10 here of the Slide Jawb Racing League this year. Of course, the title sponsor, MF Racing Designs. It's not really been a banner night for his team, but he's still got some hope right now. He's got some good running. Ty Marasco is 8th right now. But for every other driver, he's got Dalton Kilroe, Brian Dees, and Derek Paulson. They have seen better days. Paulson scored 37th out of the race. Kilroe is 33rd, 10 laps down. And Brian Dees, bringing out that most recent caution, is currently back in 20th. So it's not been the kindest of nights here at Daytona for the MFRD team. Sartaj Mann and Mark Frimpong are going to be your front row here. Mann will be the control car, 16 laps to determine the winner of the iRacing.Funny 250 to kick off Season 10. Into the Geico restart zone they go. Mann gets on the gas pedal, and the green flag flies once again here at Daytona.
And if you're a driver, especially in the mid-pack to rear of the field, you have to assume this is the race where you gotta go. If you're gonna get any sort of track position, it has to be now. So I see in the back Dylan Parker making his way 3 wide through the field. That's just the way to go. You know, it's, as we mentioned multiple times, it's hard to make a run. And we've seen since about halfway the same few guys up front for the majority of the race, with Sartaj Mann, Frimpong, Johnson, Amon got a caution on the field.
Looks like it's out back. Looking further back, it looks like there it is right there. Jared Wilson, the 83 involved. Dane Cruz is back there as well. 46 damaged. Take a look back and see. Everybody just trying to make moves. Dylan Parker sending it 3 wide. Cruz went to follow. Are they checked up for Gazzola blinking? That's Ryan Bogey. The 13, the 2. Oh, big hits for them. I believe Noah Mayuri was able to navigate through it. Two-time champion here of the Slide Jawb Racing League. And you see right here, oh, it doesn't get any closer than that. Somehow that 8 car makes it through. With that, though, that'll open the door for some more fuel saving for the field. So, as we get under 15 laps to go here, presented by Mordon Technologies, Sartaj Mann continues to lead here. He has been the dominant car all night. Cameron, being able to dominate a plate race like this, what does that do in the later stage of the race? How does that, help build the confidence for the driver?
Well, the rest of the field knows that you know how to lead a line, and I feel like that's a big thing. If you're someone out back who has not been up front most of the race, no one really knows how you're going to race up front. So you tend to trust the guys who are up front. But of course, the competitive side and everyone here doesn't want to see the guys who leading the whole race win the race. So honestly, it could go either way. We've seen Frimpong and Mann kind of swap the lead quite a bit. So they both obviously know how to lead the lines, and I think it's going to come down to really who gets the better push off the start, and then if anyone else decides to make a move or not. And if not, then it's going to be a shootout to see which line can push better.
Well, Josh, as of right now, your pick, Christopher Bassinger, looking for his first career win here, is currently scored 9th. With a very good shot to win it. He's been up front a lot this race. He has definitely been able to battle for these positions. But with it being crunch time now, I mean, do you think he's got what it takes to get to the front and get that win?
Yeah, he's been up front all race long, like you mentioned. I don't feel like he's been aggressive to get his car to the lead. It's been a long race. Now that it is 14 coming 13 to go, 12 when we take the green, I think that Bassinger, he knows he's got to turn up the heat. And by the way, who's starting beside him? one of his teammates, and that's going to be Jonathan Parker in that 48. They're at 3 wide there. That 33 Johnson, he did not get going. They put him 3 wide. They're still 3 wide. Thorpe is hanging on to the outside. They're going to try to make a third lane work. Thorpe and who is that? Wareham?
Wareham. Yeah, Thorpe, we talked about it at the top of the broadcast. The closest finish in Slide Jawb Racing League history when he won at Homestead last season, 2 1/1000ths of a second. And it wouldn't be a shock to see such a close finish here tonight the way they've been racing. But right now it's Sartaj Man and Hunter up 1-2 out front. Because we'll get 11 to go this time by. Inside line is working so much better right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That inside lane, they are just doing a great job rolling with each other. Middle line, trying to get organized.
How about Oscar Enriquez back up here in this mix here, back in the top 10 right there on the inside line.
Look at Frimpong. He had a huge run down the back straightaway with help from that 51 Amon. Frimpong side by side with Rupp. Looking for more here. Coming to 10 laps to go. Frimpong going to try to get a run. Get side by side with Mann. And I think these two have been the most aggressive all race long and trying to be up there.
Third lane starting to try to form. It's Dylan Parker to the outside. William Martin went with him. I think he dived back down in the line. But Dylan Parker up top. I think Austin J. McGill was contemplating going with him. Still is. Parker trying to run the outside. Meanwhile, Frimpong in the middle with him on, pushing him, trying to get side by side with Mann for the race lead.
Wrecking in the back.
Still spinning, wrecking. Jackson Glenn Austin, Gabe Cazzola's in it. And Zach Probst going through the grass. Caution flies again with 10 laps to go here. And we'll have another restart. D's into Olsen. Glenn Austin, Cazzola. Probst nowhere to go either. Luke Knupp and Ty Marasco both got a piece of it. On board the 17 of Brian Dees heading down the back straightaway here. You just see contact with Olsen there after the hit from Glenn Austin, and around he went. And then, of course, Marasco piling in too, so bad to worse for the MFRD team here tonight. But right now, the field's caught back up to the pace car. It's Sartaj Man leading the way as we approach inside 10 laps to go.
Well, if I may, I'd like to take this short break here, talk about something Adam and I have been in the works of putting together. It's new JCTV podcast, Fast Lane, and we are covering things from all three of our leagues that we cover, including Slide Jawb Racing League. We had a few drivers from this league onto the podcast, and Adam, I've not watched the whole show just yet, the whole episode, but Adam did an incredible job with editing, and I'm definitely looking forward to more to come. But episode 1 actually dropped today, earlier this morning, so check that out when you guys can. It's something that I think we're both really looking forward to continuing on, and there'll be a lot of coverage from all three of our series, and trying to get with as many drivers as we can.
Yeah, check that out, the Fast Lane podcast here on JCTV. Give it a listen, and we'll see. You got that going on any other platforms, or we just got it on the channel for now?
Yeah, I believe that it's on Spotify as well, and we'll have to check with Adam on that. But I do believe that it is on Spotify.
If I remember correctly, he said it's dropping on Spotify tomorrow.
There you go, the Fast Lane podcast with Adam Coon and Josh Coppernoll, coming to wherever you listen to your podcasts tomorrow. Give it a listen. So with tonight,
and
go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say, Adam did just private message me as he is watching the broadcast, saying that it is soon. So like Cam mentioned, it will be soon.
Adam, of course, could have been on pit road reporting, but he's doing other things. He's doing Adam Coon things, like getting this podcast put together. So we'll see him, of course, Friday night for the Dig Designs NAOR League. I believe they run Martinsville this week. And, of course, the In the Pits News Truck Series, as always, the staple as we hit race 3 of the Chase. That is at Homestead, where Cameron Caldwell will do battle, bringing back that Miami Vice scheme.
Yeah, it's certainly one of my favorites. In my opinion, it's probably my best, if not one of my best paint schemes I've ever designed, and I've been waiting for this race since the season started so I can bring it back. So I'm very excited to run it again and hopefully give it a good run.
Of course, though, not running for the championship, not looking to go for your second title, foregoing your eligibility to give another driver an opportunity. And, of course, the points in that series right now, we talk about the In the Pits News Truck Series. So how about the current points leader over there, Jonathan Parker? He's currently running 8th right now. Beat up, damaged, but he's still got a shot to win it here tonight.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like unless your engine's blown, you got a shot. So I think anyone really has a shot who's still running at this point.
And with all these cautions, I'd be willing to say that the fuel concern might be out the window. Man, Frimpong, still your front row, coming to 6 laps to go into the Geico restart zone. The green flag is back out. We're back underway, but I'm worried about what I just saw because like that, Justin Johnson has just phased in and out of existence to the race lead.
You gotta assume there's gonna be some sort of penalty for that because you can't do that.
He blinked out and immediately shot to the lead. Any update on that, Josh?
Man's going to go to the outside. Oh, they're trying to wreck. Pacheco made contact with Parker. They are all over the place. I'm surprised everybody's still going straight.
And somehow, some way, we sorted it back out. Man is back to the lead. Frimpong back to second. And Johnson has dropped back to third. You see the outside lane trying to form up. Johnson going to go to the top lane with Amon to push him. Right behind Amon is the 21 of Austin J. McGill. Cole Gudmested's up there. 5 laps remain here at Daytona. Will we get to the end green? The answer is no, but we'll see anyways.
I still just wonder if Justin Johnson's going to get a penalty of some sort, because obviously he teleported through the field on that restart, so...
True, but he gave the position back. He gave the position back at the same time. I mean, he dropped back to third. I don't know if it was willingly, but he gave the position back very quickly, so he didn't lead the lap technically. But that's all dependent on what they decide. That's not my call.
Oh,
see, Cole Gudmested on the wall. Gudmested around, and Enriquez is in it. Caution of car upside down. It's Gudmested. Gudmested goes for a tumble, and just like that, we set up for overtime. Got in the wall, hits Enriquez. I believe it was Caden Atkins, and then right there, hit from, I believe, is that Marasco? Zach Probst, another incident there for him.
It has just not been Zach Prost's night tonight. Seems like he's been caught up in more cautions than not.
Probst, Marasco, Gudmested involved. Atkins was involved there. He hit the wall. Right now, it's still Mann and Frimpong, still the front row.
I have to say that intensity really is turned up. These drivers know that it's more than just a season with a win that they're going to start off with. It's $200 in the pocket as well. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot of money I would love to be out there trying to race for. But these drivers, they are giving it their all.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to make these moves, but now with the time running out, it's going to be close. I mean, you know, with it going to be an overtime attempt here, officially, it will be overtime here at Daytona. So going a little over that 250 number. But what I'm really looking to now is it's gonna the intensity was picking up and ramping up, like an increasing little by little each lap. But now it is going to ramp up entirely. We're gonna see the field desperate to make these moves as fast as they can, as quick as they can, because it's go time now. You're gonna have 2 laps to go and do this. You're gonna have to make your moves to the field and just run with it. And I think we're going to see a little more action than anticipated here on this first attempt, because these guys right here are going to be hungry. Nobody in the top 5 has won here in the Slide Jawb Racing League.
I believe they're going to get the 1 to green signal here at the line. And Frimpong and Johnson, they have stayed on the outside, already trying to get prepared for this, what could be the final restart. And as you mentioned, we are going to be into overtime. Going over the 250-mile mark, free racing.
So Sartaj Mann is making his debut here tonight. This is his first official Racing League. Of course, we mentioned he won the Clash at iRacing Superspeedway. This is his first official race, first points-paying race in this league. Mark Frimpong has made 1 start prior to tonight. So the front row right now combined 3 starts in this league as they run right now. Looking for Hunter Rupp. I believe this is also his debut tonight for the Slide Jawb Racing League. In fact, it is. And then Justin Johnson looking as well. I do believe this is his debut too. So 4 drivers, the top 4, all making their debut here tonight. So obviously, or 3 of the 4 making their debut, 1 making his 2nd career start. That is Mark Frimpong. And then you see a little bit further back as well, that would be Christopher Bassinger. He is also making a shot at this one here, going for his first career win.
Real quick, I know iRating doesn't really say much at a super speedway track, but the front row, over 5K iRating.
Should come as no surprise then. Even in their debut, they're still going to rock. Overtime here in the iRacing.Funny 250. It's Mann and Frimpong leading the field back to green. We've got 2 laps to determine it if we can keep it clean. Mann going to have a push by Rupp, and they're wrecking already. Amon into Pacheco. They save it somehow. Only Pacheco's going to suffer down on the apron. A pull back in line somehow, some way. He gets back up on track, but the outside lane discombobulated. Now Frimpong going to drop. That's going to leave Rupp and Bassinger. Top 3 right now, heading down the back straightaway.
Outside lane is coming, led by that 33. Now look at Frimpong. He goes to the outside there.
Into 3 and 4. If they can make it through, we'll have 1 more lap to determine it. Mann leads Rupp. Bassinger now 3rd in the inside lane. Frimpong trying to work with Johnson and McGill on the outside. Dylan Parker's up in the mix as well. The white flag is out. 1 more lap sponsored by nobody. Nobody pays us to do that. Here comes Frimpong charging to the outside of Mann.
Outside lane is more organized. Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, if that top lane's gonna get a run, we're gonna see it right here. This will be the time to know if there's gonna be any run from the top. And as we see, Thorpe jumped out the top.
Austin J. McGill to the top. Martin went with him. They're going to drop back in line, though. McGill hung out to dry. Mann and Frimpong side by side, heading through 3 and 4. Field stacking up. Rand's got the run. Rupp is shoving him. Now he's going to clear Frimpong. Now he's got to defend 2 lanes. They're just about sideways. Frimpong and Martin, man, side by side. Coming to the line. It's going to be close. They're going to wreck behind. Sartaj Mann is going to win the iRacing.Funny 250. In his first career start, he gets the win, dominating and leading his way to the victory. Hunter Rupp in 2nd. Dylan Parker comes home 3rd. Christopher Bassinger comes home in 4th. And Mark Frimpong put up a hard fight, but at the end gets turned and winds up 5th across the stripe. Justin Johnson takes it home 6th. William Martin 7th. Austin J. McGill 8th, Jonathan Parker 9th, and Bridger Olson started outside pole, finishes 10th place here tonight.
What an incredible race that we saw. And we're about to watch Mann burn it down at Daytona.
Sartaj Mann, an incredible drive to get to the victory in dominating fashion, pretty much. From starting this race to get to the win here, double checking to see. Looks like he started back in row number 12, back in 23rd, is where this 49 car started. But he winds up in victory lane here tonight. The winner of the iRacing.Funny 250. But, of course, where we have the winner celebrating, we've got some heartbreak. Of course, Frimpong, that rough competition there at the end, wound up in 5th. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened at the end there. And that chaotic wreck coming to the finish line. So this is coming out of turn 2 from the final lap. You see everybody was doing everything they could, trying to make the moves work. Johnson was shoving that 33 of Frimpong as hard as he could. But right here, they'll come through 3 and 4, and you'll see right there, contact will be made. The 33 will get to the inside, and then just they end up turning each other. And it just stacks up the field behind them. And that's typical of these races. You see Zach Amon rolling down the front stretch. Just typical of these races. Everybody trying to go for every spot at the end of it. And winding up on the wrecker. The end of them. So with that, we will get to our driver interviews. First things first, I'm going to see if I can get a hold of our third place finisher here tonight, Dylan Parker. Hey, Dylan Parker, this is Dawson Allen in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, we spoke to you earlier on. We got some words in. You were ready to go tonight, and you wind up finishing in third. Chaotic, hectic last couple laps there. Take us through, from your perspective, what you saw.
Well, I thought I had a pretty good shot whenever I got up to the top 10. I had damage from early in the race, but it didn't really hurt the car that much. But there was a little incident around, I don't know, I think 7 laps ago. It gave me some damage in the right side, and after that, the car, I just couldn't really build up as much momentum as I needed to make moves that I could usually make. So, you know, I just kind of went and did what I needed to do and just try to get as much points as I could because, you know, there is still a full season. It's just not a one-race thing. So, you know, I'm kind of glad I got third. The rest of the team kind of didn't do as good. It was a rough night for PPM, but it was all right for me, so I can take it.
All right, well, you start off the season with a third-place finish. You won the dual race that you ran in, and you finished third tonight. Do you feel like that's going to build into some momentum here heading into this season, getting ready for Season 10?
Honestly, I have no idea, but it's just gonna be a learning process for us a little bit. So, you know, have fun tonight.
Alrighty, that is your third place finisher, Dylan Parker, and it was always awesome. It's always exciting to watch him race. We hope to see you and talk to you some more here later on this season.
All right, thank you.
And that was Dylan Parker finishing third, but we want to cut to Josh. He's going to get a hold of our fifth place finisher, who very likely could have been the runner-up in this race, Mark Frimpong.
Hey, Mark, it's Josh up in the booth. What an incredible race that you put on. You finished fifth, but you and Man were the class of the field. I was very impressed with your run tonight. Just walk us through what this race was like from your perspective.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this race was really fun. We got all of our boys up front. It was me, Sartaj, Justin, Zach, and Hunter, and we were just controlling the lines all day long. And came down to a really fun finish there where like all of us were still up there, so we were like, we'll just go for it, see what happens. And yeah, Sartaj came out on top. But yeah, that's my brother right there, so that was fun. Like I had a great time all day.
Walk us through the last lap. There was a little bit of contact, definitely going for it. Still finished fifth.
Yeah, on the last lap there, I had a little bit of a run. Well, actually, on the backstretch, we lost a little bit of our help. One of the cars went top 3, and so when we got to turns 3 and 4, like our run had kind of died down, but we got it back, and I just tried to go a little bit high so that Justin couldn't make a move up high, and he timed the move perfectly to get back down to the middle, and I'd already committed to turning back down, so I was just sideways and turned myself right there. But yeah, I'll still take a 5th place finish. It's unfortunate that me doing that ended up making Justin lose a spot or two afterward, but yeah, just going for it all there because I mean, only the winner gets paid. So.
All right. Before I let you go, is there any sponsors or shout outs you'd like to give? Who gets it done behind 53 machine?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to thank Hunter and Zach. Obviously, they worked so hard all day long. I mean, we put them in some bad scenarios in terms of like having to drop and lift and all kinds of things, but they firmed it out pretty well. Justin on that last lap, he was giving me all he had there until the very end, and of course Sartaj. I mean, he came out on top, and I'm happy for him. Little cash injection for him. And then Benjamin A. White, he was our a little eyes in the sky, you know, kind of coordinating our pit strategy. But yeah, and I mean, I'd also like to thank all the boys because they were just so clean on and off pit road. Like I've never seen such like coordinated plate racing and pit road activities. So I'm just really happy with how today went. And hopefully we can bring it again next weekend at Talladega, of course.
All right. Well, that was Mark from Pong, 5th place finisher here tonight.
And after that, I have caught up with our 2nd place finisher, Hunter Rupp. Hunter, this is Dawson. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, an exciting race to the finish. In the end of it, you take home a 2nd place. What was that race like from your point of view coming to that green-white checkered?
Well, obviously you got a little bit of nerves because, you know, you're trying to keep it together, but you're also trying to stay with the guys you've been running with because you don't want to get lost. And luckily it panned out for the most part the way we wanted. We lost a couple guys along the way, but main goal was to stay glued to Sartaj, you know, at least get one of us to win, and panned out in the end. So, you know, I can't really complain.
Yeah, and even though you didn't win, still a 2nd place has got to feel good heading into this season. So what does that do for this team as a whole, you know, finishing 2nd here? What are you looking forward to as the season progresses?
Well, it starts us off with a good, you know, solid points position to start out, so they don't got to work my way up at the start. So hopefully I can just maintain some ground, you know, make a decently deep run. Not looking exactly like a favorite, but, you know, it helps the push for sure.
Absolutely a good team effort tonight, and you were able to bring it home 2nd along with getting your teammate the win. You got anybody want to shout out, sponsors, everybody else? What all got that done for you tonight?
You know, just want to shout out all the boys, you know, Sartaj, Justin, Mark, Zach, all of them. And then paints by Max Urick. Didn't run the paint scheme tonight because my trading paints expired literally an hour before the race started, but you know, we would have represented the best paint scheme on the track.
Well, alrighty, 2nd place, but has still got a smile on his face. Hunter Rupp, congratulations.
Thank you.
And with that, Josh, I believe you've got our race winner.
Hey, Sartaj, what an incredible, dominating performance tonight. I am absolutely impressed with the run. Of course, you won the Clash a few weeks ago. A little bit of a tough break in the duel, but dominating performance here tonight. What got you through to get this victory?
Well, I mean, really, my teammates had a big part to do with that. Hunter, Mark, Justin, and Zach. I mean, we were just really a whole team there, like just a whole team effort. It's really what it is at Play Tracks, you know. Every single pit stop. I mean, we ended up like just gapping the field. Really, really that had a big thing to do with all that. And I don't know who interviewed me after the Clash, but I said I'd be back here, and I didn't think I'd be back here this soon. But yeah.
Starting off the season on a strong note, and also taking home some extra cash. Is there anything that kind of have your eyes on for what you might use that $200 for?
Not necessarily. I think I'm gonna split some of it with my teammates because I really wouldn't have won that race without them as well. I mean, like without them, really none of us would have even had a chance. Like, I think I'm gonna have to give some of it to them. So I don't really know what I'm gonna spend it on, but yeah.
All right. Well, worked super well with your teammates. I noticed there the last pit stop that we had under green flag conditions. You guys kind of stayed out a little bit later than everybody else, trying to work together. Was that kind of the plan? Did you guys want to try to catch a caution, or just kind of run it dry?
We didn't want to caution at all. That was the last thing we wanted, but we wanted to run it dry. Honestly, we wanted to really just be by ourselves and just pick up speed like that, because once when in a real big pack, I feel like you can't really just push the absolute most like you can if you're like in a smaller pack of like 4 or 5 cars, 4, 5, 6 cars, and yeah, that we wanted to stay out that long and really pull away like that.
All right, well, who do you have to think? Who gets done behind that 49 machine?
I mean, I had a spotter this race, Benjamin A. White. Really, he pulled all them strings for all of us. Really, he pulled those strings for the pit calls, all that. He did that. He did that. And for sponsors, I mean, I guess I got to thank my thugs. You know, they didn't believe in us, but yeah, I got to thank Triracial Racing and obviously my actual Team Peak Performance as well for that win.
All right, Sartaj, man, with the race victory here in the iRacing.Funny 250 at Daytona.
And well, that was a very, very hectic, chaotic race. I would say the back half of it was. We had a really clean run there early on. And then after that, they just kind of chaos ensued, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Sartaj, man, was able to stay ahead of everything. I mean, he did dominate the race pretty much start to finish, him and the entire team there. But at the end of these races is when it really gets aggressive. We did see some accidents, but really up front, it was a clean, and I'm very impressed and surprised that despite all that, despite the cautions, that 49 still walked away with the race victory.
Yeah, Cam, what were your thoughts of that finish?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of what we were talking about before that last screen out checkered. Like the guys up front have been up front for the majority of the race, and it was just really hard to make time up, from the back, and especially at the end when everyone was really pushing. We saw the line stay together very well compared to previous restarts towards the end. So unless you're gonna make it 3 wide, which you did see a few people do, you just couldn't go anywhere. So I wasn't too surprised to see Sartaj pull it off. I thought that the guys around him might give him a little bit more of a battle, but that top line just couldn't get going down the backstretch on the last lap, and that was about all she wrote.
Yeah, pretty much. And, we saw that battle at the end. They were pretty much coming out of the line. It all came down to the run off the corner. And even then, it had to rely on, holding that position, which Sartaj was able to do. Someone I want to talk to as well before we go fully, I want to talk to the driver of the 16, Jonathan Canfield. I feel bad because I said he was better than Josh Coppernoll, but apparently, that was a bad jinx on him. As that wound up putting him finishing officially 33rd, 17 laps down. Jonathan, is Dawson up in the booth? You got a copy?
That I do.
Alrighty, well, you put down the headset and put on the helmet for tonight, and you went out there, but you started off on the wrong foot. What exactly happened?
So, interesting timing on this. My modem all of a sudden decided to update itself while I was actually running on track. So the first time it happened, completely disconnected me. I'm glad it didn't hurt any other drivers. But I didn't think about it, so I let the internet reconnect, relaunched, and did the same thing. It just shut right back down. I lost all sense of what was going on around me, and finally called the internet company and found out that it needed an update, and they did it in a couple minutes. If I would have known it the first time, could have saved myself a couple laps and maybe a couple better positions. But just appreciative of the clean race for myself and everyone who's around me. I mean, I know I wasn't pushing the issue as a lap car. I was just out there trying to log laps, get as many positions back as I could, and going for points. Got to get as many points as I can. But overall, the racing itself, I feel like we had a chance in the beginning. I was just laying back, trying to make it to lap 50. To come up 17 laps short because of an internet issue is a little frustrating, but I'm not as down as I was last week for sure. I had fun out there.
Well, alrighty. That was Jonathan Canfield driving the 16 JCTV's own Jonathan Canfield, I should say. Looking forward to next week at Chicago.
Absolutely. And just before you guys let me go again, got to give sponsor shout outs. I'll be running my new scheme next week that was made by Justin Burnham with BMD. Burnham Motorsport Designs. He does deals for our team, and he'll do deals for all guys in SJRL. Just hit him up. He's really good at what he does. I can't wait to unveil that scheme next week. CTR, Amsoil, Guardian, Golden Guardian, Autosport. Can't thank them enough for what they do for me, all the teammates over there. Michael Hall being my spotter. Thank you again for putting up with another night where we suck. Hopefully next week we can do better.
Well, alrighty, that is Jonathan Canfield, JCTV's own, after not so optimal race here tonight at Daytona. And so with that, that'll pretty much wrap things up from us here tonight. So like we said, Sartaj Man is now $200 richer, but of course, spreading the love to his teammates. So we shall see. Of course, before we go, we're going to give you a quick look at your schedule here for the Slide Jawb Racing League here for Season 10. We've completed the Daytona 250 here tonight, and that means that next week, Valentine's Day, will we see the love shared amongst these drivers at Chicagoland, or will we see some tempers flare? That's still to be determined. But after that, of course, Chicagoland, Vegas, Bristol, the next 3 races here on the calendar as Season 10 is just underway. Sartaj Man adding his name to the long list of winners here in the Slide Jawb Racing League. Hit the wrong button there. Let me fire that back up real quick. There we go. But so Sartaj Man adds his name to the list of drivers to capture a Daytona win. Earning his first career win here in the Slide Jawb Racing League at Daytona. And of course, Hunter Rupp finishing runner-up with him. And of course, the rest of the team there, you saw Frimpong was 5th. Dylan Parker 3rd, Christopher Bassinger 4th. And just looking through the field, some highlights, of course. Jonathan Parker, the In the Pits News Truck Series points leader for Saturday nights. He finished at 9th. Michael Thorpe Jr., we talked about him a lot. He came home 11th. Oscar Enriquez in the JCTV machine was 13th. And then, of course, the highest finishing MFRD driver, Brian Dees, only got to 19th. A very tough night for them. And your pole sitter, Dane Cruz, brought it home 23rd. Defending series champion Dalton Kilroe finished 28th. So a lot of chaos led to a lot of drivers not having the best finish tonight. But, of course, Chicagoland awaits next week. Same time, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll start the stream. Of course, coming up this week on JCTV, you've got the NAOR series, the DIG NAOR series, I should say. They run Martinsville. And then, of course, the In the Pits News Truck Series goes to Homestead for Race 3 of the Chase. That'll do it for us here from Daytona for the iRacing.Funny 250 for the MF Racing Design Slide Jawb Racing League. Big shout out to Cameron Caldwell for joining us in the booth tonight. And for Josh Coppernoll, this is Dawson Allen signing off, saying so long. Have a great rest of your night.